Hello YouTube and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Here today we have VeggieVersus episode number 2 and we have an awesome guest in Mr. WhalleyWood, a good friend of mine, I would say at least. Hopefully it replicates backwards, but we have an absolute scorcher of an episode for you today. We are episode 2 in and we already have a sacking. Let's just leave it at that. We have a sacking in episode 2 here against Mr. WhalleyWood. We get him to do all his self-promo in the video, so make sure you watch through to check that out and wait to see who is going to be the first manager on the challenge to get the chop, but you'll have to wait and find out. But before we get into the video, make sure you smash the like button and hit subscribe to the channel for more of this content, and let me know in the comments who we should get in for future episodes. Hello, Mr. WhalleyWood. How are we?
I'm good. How are you, Veggie?
I'm doing good, yeah. How are you feeling a bit tender after your birthday yesterday?
Feeling delicate. Feeling very delicate. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I can make you even more delicate with this sale on Football Manager. Yeah. So let us know who you are, where we can find you, all your socials, etc. Get that self promo done.
Yeah. My name's WhalleyWood. I'm on Twitch and Twitter. I stream variety games now. Used to be an FM streamer. Might be again one day. Who knows? But
Next year,
can't promise
year.
anything. Yeah, next year maybe. I'll fucking cut that out, Veggie. But yeah, I've been playing Biomutants most recently. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, bit of Star Wars, bit of Biomutants, then I'm your guy.
Bit of everything. Nice. Yeah, we do recommend checking him out. He does YouTube as well. I never really mentioned that, but he is starting to grow his YouTube a little bit.
That's not under the radar at the moment.
Under the radar, right? He's planning to. So watch this space. Watch this space is what he's saying. So the save that we've got here. What is the challenge? What is the one season challenge that you've laid down here?
So I chose Spurs after watching the All or Nothing at the end of last year with Jose Mourinho, and seeing how that developed over this season. I thought since the managerless in real life, it'd be an interesting challenge. Also, I look at their squad in real life and I'm like, I don't see what the problem is, why they're not performing, and I see very key areas where they could improve. So I thought it'd be an interesting challenge for a one-season wonder.
Yeah, the chance to come in and lay down what you would like to see with it. Cool.
Yeah. Right,
well, we may as well just get straight into it then. So talk to me about your transfers in summer. Did you make any big summer transfers, anyone?
I think we both had the £13 million budget.
Yep.
I instantly got rid of quite a few loan youth players. I got rid of Lucas Moura. He's probably the biggest departure, £28.5 million to Manchester United.
Nice.
Let's have a quick look here. Danny Rose, 2.5 million to Udinese. Bergwijn to Atlanta, 15 million.
Okay.
Aurier, I think that's how you say it, to Milan, 15 million.
Oh, wow.
And that's my biggest out. So that's probably a decent £65 million of departures. On the ins, I brought in Strakosha from Lazio, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
I wanted a bit of a younger goalkeeper than Lloris, a sweeper keeper on support who could play those balls out to defenders, and for my formation it works the best. And I thought he was a really good acquisition at £6.25 million.
Not bad.
Pau Torres, £31.5 million.
Okay.
Obviously, I saw defence as a big weakness for Spurs, and Pau Torres is probably one of the better players you can get at that sort of price range.
Yep.
Brought in Aaron Ramsey, Arsenal legend.
Of course, because he would just love to come to Spurs.
Yeah, of course he would. He was on the transfer list for 18.5 million, and I thought he'd make a good rotation option with sort of like Dali Ali or Ndombele.
Yep.
Jack Stacey for £5 million from Bournemouth, a championship right wing back. I thought he'd do a job. He was good. He was mostly brought in as backup, but as you'll see later on, he played a slightly bigger part.
All right. Okay. Interesting.
I brought in Martin Ellingson from Mold, £3.8 million. As soon as he signed, realised he wasn't good enough. Dropped into the under-21s.
Yeah.
And I can't say this one. Anil Ahmed.
Oh, you brought in Ahmed. Yep. I know him very well.
From
Yep,
Malmo.
yep.
From Malmo.
Yep.
Any Football Manager players will know this guy. £4.4 million.
Oh, right, okay, not
Absolute
bad.
bargain.
Yep.
And he was probably my key centre back for the season, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised I could bring him in for such a cheap price.
Yeah,
so.
you did pick him up for a really good
Yeah.
price. Yeah.
So that's my ins as well. So I feel like I strengthened where I wanted to, and I got rid of the dead wood as well.
Yep, that makes sense. Fair enough. So I had absolutely nowhere near as much outgoings or ingoings as you did. I'm looking at. I sold Danny Rose for 2.8 million, and that was it. That was literally it. Looking back at it, I really wish I did get rid of a whole load more people. So I didn't have the war chest that you managed to accumulate from your player sales.
To be clear as well, we did set the rule of not using future incentives.
Yes.
So that's why I sold so many players, because for my system I needed certain players, and obviously not using future incentives is a big.
It's a big key. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I brought in your boy Anil Ahmed for 4.1 million. It was like my first signing. I was like, right, 8th of August. I was like, I need a centre back. Who can I trust? I wanted Barry Ashili because he's one of my go-tos, but he costs far too much now to bring him in. So I couldn't get him. I then brought in Eric Garcia in on loan and Filip Kostic for 12.2 million.
That's brilliant.
Which I thought was a decent price. We'll talk about how he does kind of further down the line. But that's literally all I've done for the whole thing. So
That's
I
very solid.
Yeah, I wanted to play like a certain tactic. I don't think I've actually got it saved, or I do. So I went with an intention of playing a 4-1-3-2. So I wanted my flat four, and then I wanted a defensive mid in between it, and then two, like a right mid and a left mid almost, and then a box to box, and then two up front. So I wanted to try and get that Son and Kane connection, like they've got a new life. That was my vision. They'll just bang loads and loads and loads of goals. Unfortunately, it didn't really work, but that is what I played for most of the season, at least up to Christmas. I was too stubborn to switch across. But yeah, that was what did you go for?
So I went for a 5-3-2. 3 centre backs, 2 wing backs, 3 central midfielders, and 2 strikers. It's one that I've used in drafts, and I've used it over a few FMs. It's supposed to be a version of the Conte tactic, which he used for Italy in like 2016 or something, and he's always worked on it. But then I've given it my own sort of taste over the years.
You don't know spin.
But yeah, same with you really. I put Kane and Son. Kane and Son up front.
Yep.
Initially, Kane was a target man and Son was a complete forward. I did end up switching that after a few games because it just wasn't working. No, Son was putting in a few goals, but Kane, his contribution was terrible. So I swapped them round and put Son as a false 9 and Kane as a complete forward or an advanced forward as well.
Okay. Yep. Nice.
And it worked a lot better like that.
Okay. That's not too bad. Sounds interesting. Was there any like players that you dropped that you should have, or like any big key decisions of like players that bigger in the squad that you weren't playing, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think Eric Dyer eventually just became. It was supposed to be a rotation option in centre back and midfield, and he just sort of became deadwood after a while. He did tell me that he was very upset about that. So
he does become a pain.
Yeah, he does. To be honest, the whole idea with the save, I think Vinicius probably should have played more, because when he did play for me in Europa League, he would get like a hat trick or a brace, but I'd never really used him in the league too much.
Okay.
But yeah, I think my whole idea was to use a lot of rotation, so a lot of players did get a lot of time. I think probably the most controversial decision is Alderweireld, how do you say it? Got dropped a lot for Ahmed.
Ahmed,
yeah. Ahmed.
Call him Ahmed.
Yeah, he got dropped for him quite often, but he still played a good chunk of maybe 15 starts. So, and as well the goalkeeper rotation, which is a bit unusual, but I thought using Strakosha
Yep.
and Lloris at different times in the season. Obviously, Lloris starts with a big injury, so it's easy to sort of rotate. I think they both played about half the games this season.
Yeah, that's not too bad. So that then you kind of, I'm not going to bother about the friendlies because friendlies don't really make any difference. Although they did fill me with confidence in my formation. I didn't lose a single friendly.
I just simmed them.
Yeah. Opening game against Man City. Did you have the? You should have had the same, I think.
Oh no, I have Man United.
Oh really? Oh, interesting. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
We got a 1-1 draw, which I was pretty
okay.
happy with against Man United.
Yep.
McSaw scored for them 7 minutes in,
lovely.
and Son scored for us just before half time. And I think we pretty much just saw the game out.
Yep. Well, yeah, I had City. I got beat 3-0. So I really wasn't in the game at all. It looks like my formation's telling me I played a 4-3-3, so maybe I did start with a 4-3-3 and then changed. But yeah, I got absolutely dominated. 20 shots for Man City, 9 on target, and almost a 3 XG for them, whereas I had 4 shots. But then you go into the Euro Cup qualifying pass. So this one's really key for depending on how you've got the second, the third, and the fourth round. We'll skip the Premier League games in between. But did you manage to qualify for the Euro Cup?
Yeah, we beat Zeta 7-0 in our first game.
Nice. Yeah.
I did end up simming a couple of them because I knew they were going to be won. Just the Euro qualifiers, but Slovan Liberec, I think I simmed it and we won 2-1, and TSV Hartberg we beat 1-0 as well. Yeah, I should probably say in between that we've got in the league form we have 0 wins in the first 5 games, 3 draws, 2 losses.
Yeah.
So
not the best in the league there. Then we're doing that. Yeah. So I want to say I had a slightly harder run in the Euros. I mean, probably not. I had FK Stjeska Niksik. I don't know who they are, but we beat them 2-0. They're from Montenegro. But then I had Rio Ave, who I think are actually a pretty solid team. That's probably my hardest one. We beat them 2-1, thankfully. If I remember, that one was quite close actually. It was a 60th. It wasn't that. We were 1-0 down up to the 60th minute, and then Alderweireld scored, and then Harry Kane scored in the 62nd minute, and then we had Willem 2, or Willem, however you call them. We smashed them 6-0. Quite comfortably, and that was actually using that formation, which probably gave me a lot more confidence. Lucas Moura on the right hand side got a perfect 10 rating and scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
But in between there, we beat Newcastle 4-0, but we also lost to Brighton 1-0.
Yeah.
But we were in the Euros. It wasn't the worst of starts in the league, I don't think, and we got ourselves into the group games. And then we have the Caribou Cup. Yep. So I do love a cup competition. I keep telling myself I get put out on penalties to Swansea, so I'm out the cup.
What was the full-time score?
It was 2-2, and I believe I scored very late on. Yes, I scored in the the 72nd minute penalty to capitalise after being 2-0 down. 69th and 72nd minute to get back into that game. It was not comfortable viewing, I tell you. But then penalties put us out.
So I went quite strong in my game against League One Ipswich, I believe.
Okay, yep.
Son scored in the first minute. Ipswich equalised on the 6th minute. They held us for most of the game. 85th minute, Ben Davies comes off the bench and saves the day. We win 2-1.
Nice.
Who did you draw next then in the Carabao Cup?
Well, I got put out in the Caribou Cup, remember? So thanks for that. I don't have anyone. So
since it's before the Europa group stages, we had Arsenal. Pau Torres' own goal knocked out.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
1-0.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
So who do you get in your Euro group? We'll come back to the Premier League in a minute, but who do you actually get for your group?
We got Feyenoord, Real Sociedad, and Vojvodina,
All right,
I
okay.
believe, Russian team
Yep. Okay.
or Ukrainian, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got Genk, Zorya, and Sivasspor.
Okay.
Which I think we lost the first game of that was against Ghent, and at this point I was thinking, oh dear, I was I was looking forward to topping this group, but then we
Yeah,
managed
yeah.
to beat Sivasspor 4-1, Zorya 3-1, 3-2 against Zorya in the reverse leg. We draw with Ghent, and we beat Sivasspor, and we topped the group on 13 points. So it didn't end up
That's all right.
terrible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We won our first 3 games, so every team. Real Sociedad 2-0, a Son double,
Yep.
Vojvodina 4-1,
Yep.
Vinicius double, Højbjerg, Musa Sissoko, Feyenoord 1-0, another Son goal. Then on the return fixtures, we lost to Feyenoord 2-1. We lost to we drew with Sociedad 1-1,
Hmm.
and we drew with Vojvodina as well 1-1. We came second in the group with 11 points, behind Feyenoord with 15.
Okay. Not bad. You still qualify. Yeah,
You know,
it's Feyenoord's
it
a
was difficult
respectable
on the
team.
return legs.
Yeah, definitely. So in between them, oh great
Yeah,
luck.
in between them, our league form picked up massively. I think from the looks of it, it's about 3, 4, 5, 6 wins out of 7 games. The only other game coming to Liverpool, where we lost 3-1 away from home. But
Yes.
I was very happy with the form.
So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 games in there. We'll say 3 of them I won. So a 1-0, a 2-0, a 3-1, and then the Liverpool game I'm at home on this one. I lost 3-4, which I wasn't too downhearted about. I was like, that's not the worst result at this stage in the
No,
game.
it's not too bad.
But then I lose to Fulham, I lose to Leicester, and I lose to Man United, and my head is dipping slightly now because I don't really want to lose to Fulham. Or
Yeah.
I mean, Man United's not a bad one, but I would rather not be losing 4 Premier League games in a row, especially this early on, coming up to kind of December. It doesn't do you a whole load of good. But after that, kind of running up to Christmas, I go on an absolute insane run, and the media pick it up, and they do ask me if it is my run's ever going to come to an end, which it does. I do lose 1-0 to Everton, but after 6 games, I go undefeated. Only winning one of them. So the insane run that the media were making me think I was on was just a cluster of draws. I've got like like 3 1-1s in there, a couple of 0-0s. It wasn't the best of runs really. Like I was collecting points, but not on to the mercy. What about you? How did your run to Christmas go?
So we won 8 out of our 9 fixtures on the road to Christmas.
Okay. Yep.
The only loss going to Burnley. We did beat Mancity 2-1. Davidson, Sanchez, and Son scoring.
Nice.
Jesus getting a 91st minute goal, so it was quite a comfortable win, really.
Yep.
Fulham 4-0, Crystal Palace 2-0, Aston Villa 2-1, Brighton 3-2, Harry Kane hat trick.
Nice.
I remember that being a distinctly tough game as well. It was a penalty the decider as well, quite late on. 1-0 to Sheffield United, 2-1 against Leicester.
Yep.
And we'll go on to the FA Cup, I guess. That's
yep.
coming up.
If we load up, if you go into your Premier League just now, and I'm trying to find where it shows you your
past positions.
Yes, that's the word, past positions. But I can't get it to actually show it properly. Does that only show up at the end of the season? I wanted to try and see where we were both sitting at this time.
Yeah. There is on Premier League there is a option to, if you go to overview and then first half of stage. So that's where you were halfway through the season.
Right. Okay. So where were you sitting halfway through the season?
I was sitting 4th place.
Wow. 4th place, nice.
Yeah, 4th place. I was a few points off. Just a couple of points off second, but Man City are running away with it a little bit at that point. 11-point gap from the top.
Okay.
but a comfortable 4th place.
Who else is up there? Is like Liverpool and that up there performing?
Man City top, Liverpool 2nd, Arsenal 3rd, us 4th, Man United just behind us, Leeds, Southampton.
All right, okay. So I'm sitting 16th.
Okay.
This is a little bit further on, I think, but I'm currently sitting in
Yeah.
16th after 17 games on 19 points. So I am well and truly in the mud. And I think genuinely at this point, yes, it comes up to I've got Aston Villa in the Premier League, which I've lost where I am in the league at the minute. And then I have West Ham in the Cup. But before the Aston Villa game, I get that dreaded board coming knocking at my door.
Oh, yeah.
Please come and have a chat for us. So I've got the 3 options: accept, decline. It might have just been 2 actually. It might have just been accept the interview or decline it with them. So obviously I take it. I go in and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I've just not been doing too well. I promise you I'll pick it up. And they give me the ultimatum: 10 points in your next 5 games. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't know who my next 5 games are, but sure, let's commit to it. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going anyway. So Aston Villa beat us 1-0 in the league. It's not a great start to that part.
Yeah.
West Ham in the FA Cup. I beat them 2-1. Lovely. I'm through. Points don't count. Fantastic. And then my next 3 fixtures for this is Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle. And then just to add on top of that, the 4th game in the next FA Cup round is Liverpool. But how did you get on in your FA Cup? We'll come back to my results after.
In our FA Cup, we got who is it here? We got Aston Villa, who we beat 1-0.
Okay, nice.
Jack Stacey with the goal. But it was sort of at that point rotating a lot with Doherty as our starting right wing back. Surprisingly, coming from a championship team, we get Peterborough in the 4th round. A good draw.
Yep.
Yeah, we get smashed 3-1. Our strongest team out.
Oh no.
Yeah, we get smashed 3-1.
Not good. Well, I don't make it to the 4th round. I get beat 1-0 off Chelsea and I lose my job. So, Veggie at this point in time, 13th of January 2021, after a 1-0 defeat to Chelsea at 7:30 at home, on the television, the board come out and sack me immediately after the game, and I'm now currently left jobless.
Live on air.
Yeah, but literally, yeah. One of those, I was doing my interviews and then the press officer goes, Max, how do you feel about losing your job? And I'm just like, I've lost my job. So, yeah. The video is now yours at this point and you can discuss what's happened.
I'm going to try and retransfers just for interest. So, yeah. This is my favourite transfer that I did on the save, to be honest. First of all, I let go Eric Dyer. He was complaining about game time. We got £16.5 million for him.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty cushy. I then brought in. I was noticing Harry Kane and Son seemed to take turns getting injured. I didn't want to call upon Vinicius too much. I just want that into him, and I needed a false 9 and an advanced forward. So I brought in Paul Glatzel from Liverpool, 500k, a young player. He was about 2 stars, but I just thought chuck him on for the end of the game if we're winning.
Yep.
It won't do any harm and can play cup games, even though we got knocked out of the cup a few games later, a few days later.
Of course.
And we brought in Jermaine Defoe from Rangers.
Oh Jesus! It would be Jermaine as well, wouldn't it? Oh no! Right.
I was thinking we need someone with the Spurs DNA to take us on this title race, because we're getting right up there at this point. There was a point where it looked like the title is in sight. So Jermaine Defoe is supposed to take us the rest of the way. We also brought in a January deadline day signing of Phil Jones for 6.5 million. He played 1 game. He was terrible. So following the FA Cup, so we're in January, and this is where the trouble begins.
Right.
Leeds United, we lose 3-2. Patrick Bamford hat-trick. Everton, we lose 3-1. Peterborough, we lose 3-1. Arsenal, we lose 1-0. Man United, we lose 2-0. West Brom, we lose 1-0.
Oh dear.
Chelsea, we beat 1-0.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Southampton, we lose 3-2.
That's not going well.
It was terrible. We scored like 3 goals in that list of however many games that is.
Yep.
About 9 games maybe. Yeah, 9 games. We won 1 game, and we scored about 2 goals. We're into the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
We get Bayern 05 or 04, sorry.
Leverkusen. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Schick puts them up in the first leg. Jermaine Defoe comes back with the late equaliser, 1-1 first leg. At home, so I wasn't too happy with that.
Yep.
We beat West Ham. Then we go on to Leverkusen second leg. Jermaine Defoe scores to put us through late in the game.
Jermaine Defoe likes his Europe. Nice.
He's coming on. Harry Kane was injured at this time, I believe. So Jermaine Defoe was just holding the fort. We had a defeat to Newcastle. Then we get Ludogorets in the next round, to which we lose 2-1.
Oh, yep. That's not good.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Then we beat Wolves in the league, and we get Ludogorets Part 2. A 2-0 win. Jermaine Defoe scoring the decisive goal to put us through.
Jermaine Defoe's coming up
to the
clutch.
quarterfinals.
Yep.
So then we get Man City, second game against Man City this season. Obviously, we're not looking too good at this point because in the league, due to all the defeats.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Defoe scores a late winner to beat Man City.
This man.
We beat Crystal Palace 5-1 after the City game. So I think the spirit's changed in the team.
Mm-hmm.
We get Milan in the quarterfinals of the Euros.
That's who I had in the first leg of the knockouts, and I was actually really looking forward to that game. But
it was a really good set of fixtures.
Yeah.
So the first leg, it was a little bit dull. I think we were coming up on top. We were away from home in this one. Daniel Maldini scores his first ever AC Milan goal on the 80th minute, and they win 1-0.
Oh.
We beat Aston Villa 4-1 in between that.
Mm-hmm.
Then AC Milan leg 2 at home. Can we make it to the semi-finals, Veggie? What do you reckon?
I think Jermaine Defoe is going to take you into there. Everything in my body says Jermaine Defoe is going to just...
Can confirm. Jermaine Defoe did not play in this game.
Oh, thank God. I don't think I could have took that.
Kane, hat-trick.
Oh,
Son.
okay.
4-0, so 4-1 on aggregate.
Nice.
We're through to the semi-finals. We get a draw against Burnley. A bit disappointing, but it's Burnley.
Yep.
A 4-2 win against Liverpool. Dane Scarlett had his first ever start, and Harry Kane got a hat-trick. Dane Scarlett scoring the other, so I was happy with that. Yep. It was probably the only game we played, but I thought I wanted to bring through a young player just to showboat a little bit. I was feeling good about the challenge at this point.
Yep.
0-0 against Fulham, then we get the semi-final against Marseille. We beat Marseille 3-1 in the first leg. Then we beat Brighton. And then a 0-0 against Marseille in the second leg, so we're through to Europa League final. Feeling really good. At this point, we're 5th in the league, with Leeds following us. So I'm feeling like top 4 Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
We draw against Sheffield United. It is what it is. Son scored. Dave McGoldrick scored like 90th minute. Really disappointed. Man United separated the gap then to 4th place. Okay. And it became impossible, or pretty much impossible. We beat Leeds 1-0 in the next game, but Man United won as well. And it was confirmed that we couldn't qualify for the Champions League in that season. So I didn't get the gratitude of the board coming to knock on my door, you see.
Hey, are you
failing to qualify for the Champions League?
No way. Are you still in the semi-finals as well?
I've won. I'm in the final of the Europa League.
Wow. So you're in the final of the Euro Cup and you get sacked.
3 games to go in the season. No,
goodness.
2 league games to go in the season. and I get sacked.
I cannot
For failing
believe
to qualify in the league.
we're only 2 episodes in, basically, into VeggieVersus, and both of us get frickin' sacked. Oh, Spurs.
Honestly, it was the most shocking moment. I had Leicester and Everton coming up. I was like 9 points off, so I couldn't qualify anymore.
Yep.
But I was just like, get me to that Europa League final, because I'm like, I can qualify for the Champions League in that Europa League final. They didn't knock on my door; they just sacked me as soon as as soon as it was confirmed I couldn't qualify. And I'm like, come on, man, I've got Jermaine Defoe leading the line.
Jermaine Defoe's here to stay.
I was gutted. And just off the back of a 1-0 win against Leeds as well, who were 6th, sorry, just behind us. So
that is absolutely devastating for you. I'm like really, really glad that you also got sacked. But like the fact that you've made it into a final, you're currently sitting 5th. Oh, jeez, that's a bit wild, you know, Tottenham. That is not
off some good form as well. Like we beaten obviously Milan, Marseille, Liverpool 4-2 a few games earlier. We just beat Leeds just the day they sacked me.
Yeah, it's quite a brutal one, to be honest. Especially where did they even finish in real life? Did they come?
They came like 6th or 7th. I feel like.
Exactly, and you're getting sacked for finishing 5th.
I know.
I can take my one, but come on, I'm not accepting that.
I know. My pride is, I mean, technically, I did better than Mourinho.
Yep.
At Tottenham,
100%
and
agree.
I don't think it was just, to be honest. You know, all Tottenham have ever wanted is a European trophy or a trophy of any kind, really.
Yeah, and here you are trying to give the best.
I should add as well, we got Arsenal in the final.
Oh, that would have been such a good game as well.
I know. So what I did for the video is I simmed to the end of the season.
Okay. Yep.
So the finals happened on this day. So on the run up to the end of the season, by the way, they lost to Leicester and drew to Everton. So they got 1 point in the last 2 games after sacking me.
Yep. Seems a bit irresponsible of them. Yep.
So we get to the final. Did my boys bring the trophy home? No, they haven't hired a new manager, by the way.
Right, okay.
It's the assistant manager that was Mourinho's assistant at the time.
Yep.
So they start with a different formation to what I do.
Yep.
We have a Franco Vasquez goal for Arsenal on the 4th minute.
Yep.
Dele Alli equalises on the 55th minute.
Okay.
It goes to full time, 1-1, extra time. Jack Stacey scores on the last minute of extra time. 119 minutes, and Tottenham win 2-1.
Tottenham finally get a trophy. Finally.
Managerless, and they get a trophy. I'm just so gutted, man. Like, I had a 60% win record with them. I'd only lost 12 games all season, and most of those were in that 9-game.
Yeah, that one run. Yep.
We rarely drawed, 8 draws. And like, what's that? 30 wins. So 60% win record, and I get sacked 2 days from the end. Well, 2 games from the end of the season with 5th place secured and the Europa League final. I'm just gutted, man.
Oh dear. Well, at least you win the challenge. You take home once again another win against the Veggie. You've done it in the drafts. You've now done it on the channel. So currently I'm now 1-1 after beating Sai. Although I beat him in 2 challenges, maybe not. But I'm going to say it's 1-1. Obviously you claiming 1 win, I'll claim 1 against Sai. So before we finish off, just once again, thank you for coming on. Congratulations on winning the challenge, and commiserations on the sack. We are both now looking for new jobs as Football Manager. But just before we sign off, just let the guys know watching where we can find you again, what you're going to be up to. Just the last bit of self promo. Twitch.tv/WhalleyWood for Biomutant, Star Wars, any game really. Depends how I feel. Just come and tell them what to play.
Come in and tell me what to play. I'll just switch. Like, I'm more than happy to. And Twitter /WhalleyWood as well. I mean, that's probably the best place because if I do YouTube more, it'll be on there as well.
Get the promo out on that one. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you for coming on, and let us know in the comments who you want to see on future episodes. I've not actually lined up anyone for episode 3 yet, so I need to get working on that. So if there's anyone you want to see, let us know, and we'll see you next time.